Welcome to the School of Communications at XIM University presents Best Friend Forever podcast. In today's episode, we're going to have the topic Story Retellings and the Interpretation of Different Ideas Throughout History, an analysis of narrative, retellings, and adaptations, with me, RJ Vidhika Kohli, from BSc Mass Communication 2024 to 27. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there was a writer, an old spirit who saw and heard all that went on in the kingdom, and then bound it in volumes of written word. Much like in real-world history, where we began to write down tall tales and myths to preserve them, the most notable example being the Grimm brothers' tales, which eventually became time capsules for society that reflected the past's thoughts, ideas, and desires. Till then, for near centuries, stories like Snow White were mainly known by word of mouth, and their narration relied heavily on body language and expression. But then came the attempt of writing them down, and these adaptations would come with their own defining narrative features and plot changes. Which brings me to our question of the day. How exactly have stories been retold over time? I'll try and answer this with 3 examples, starting with fairy tales, and my favorite adaptation of one, Tangled. I'm sure we're all familiar with this retelling of Rapunzel, which showcases how an ever-evolving society's thoughts and ideas influence change. Originally about a young girl raised in captivity by a witch before being rescued by her Prince Charming, the story of Tangled gives Rapunzel a personality and avoids reducing her to a mere damsel in distress. She is brave, curious, and adventure-seeking, and while she is accompanied by a male character, her character does not rely on him. Similarly, we have Ella Enchanted, a film which expands upon Cinderella and explores themes of independence as a young adult, hence giving modern young audiences something more influential to watch. Moving on from fairy tales, a story can also be adapted and retold for a different audience or generation, like in video games. For example, Kingdom Hearts, an original fantasy series based on classic fairy tale themes, Japanese video games, and Disney, which features characters like Donald Duck and Goofy. Now at last we have the MCU, and the way it pulls various elements from different Marvel comics. The prime example here being Captain America, whose comics were originally based around Cold War politics, while the films we know are more around modern political themes. In conclusion, storytelling is constantly evolving across all mediums, and as we grow, it's clear how our changing ideas and beliefs go on to influence the kind of stories we tell and consume. The art of adaptation itself is as unique as the process of creation. This has been RJ Vidhika Kohli, and I can't wait to see how the art of storytelling evolves next.